What's up, guys? Today we're coming at you with a odd odds Endymion deck profile. So let's jump into this deck profile and let's see what we're coming at you with. We're running 3 of our odd odds Art Pendulum. Art Pendulum is what gets all of our plays going for our odd odds. You know, one of our odds gets destroyed, we're gonna allow it to special summon one of our odd odds from either the deck or the graveyard. Most of the time it's gonna be out of the deck. That way we can get the ball going and get those good plays going the way we want to. We're running 3 of the original OG Odd Odds Pendulum Dragon. This guy is just, you want to have him. A lot of people have been cutting it down to 2 and to 1. And to me personally, running this at 3, you want it. It's a level 7. The deck runs very well with level 7. So that's what you want to do. You got a rota for him that's, going to be able to search it out. So you might as well run it. It's going to be a good card. If nothing else, you can pop it in your pen scale to end phase and get a search. And, that way you can start setting up plays the way you want to. We're also running 3 of the Odd Odds Phantom Dragon. Odd Odds Phantom is really, to me, one of your good OTK pieces. If you got a Odd Odds in your pen scale, you pendulum summon this card, you do damage to your opponent, you're going to be able to get that 1200 burn, and that's very, very useful to you. Also, too, if he's in your pen scale, to be able to allow you to just make sure that you give that extra attack point boost that you need to get over those, sometimes stupid monsters that your opponent might have. We're also running 2 Odd Odds Persona Dragon. We cut this guy down to 2 in this build because we want to see it, but it's not crucial to the main plays. It's a good negate for extra deck monster effects, and it's a good 24 defensive wall. It's a good sword, so very useful. Good shield, excuse me. We're also running 2 Odd Odds Mirage. Odd Odds Mirage is still just a good normal summon and also a protector for Odd Odds cards. Very, very useful, very versatile for the deck. Also our mascot. We're also running 1 Zenke Magician. This guy's good for negating the light monsters that we might go against. Also, too, the main thing about it is he's gonna be useful for making sure that when the opponent, they might not see it coming, but we run enough level 7, we can get raging out there and, blow up the field and just, make our opponents pay for that, getting caught slipping. Now we're running for our Endymions. We're running 3 Servant. A lot of people are complaining because this is a common. Guys, there's no point in that. They did that for a reason. The next OTS pack that comes out is probably going to be an ultimate rare or at least a super. If it comes out into like Mega 10s or something like that, it's going to be a super. So don't worry about that. They did that for a reason. But this card, the main thing about this card, every time you activate a spell card, put her counter on it if she's in your pen scale, and then whenever you pop it, you're allowed to special summon her and a card that could you put spell counters on. That could either be your mythical beast, your Endymions, whatever. That is a very good rota for the deck for spell counters, and that can be making it so you can make some really stupid plays. Also, too, if this card's destroyed, it allows you, it first goes to the extra deck, but then after it goes to the extra deck, the effect pops off, so it puts it right into the pendulum zone. It's very, very stupid. It's going to make it so you automatically have a low scale, and that works out very well, especially with your odd odds, especially if you got your Art Pendulum in there. That way you get your Art Pendulum plays, and you also keep getting your Endymion plays as well, so it's very, very useful. We're also running 2 Endymion, the Mighty Master. This guy is very, very, very stupid. This guy I could see very easily going to 1. I could see Servant also going to 1 one day. But the fact is, if this guy's in the pen scale, if you have 6 spell counters anywhere on the field, whether it be the field spell, other monsters effects, spell card effects, traps, whatever, if they got 6 counters, remove 6 counters, special summon this guy, you're allowed to pop just about everything on your opponent's board. Then after that, it's going to put those spell counters on him. Also, too, the main thing about him is he can't be targeted if he has spell counters on him. And that makes it hard for your Sky Striker matchup for them to really play against you if you got this guy on board. Also, too, he's going to negate a spell or trap. Once again, it makes Sky Striker and the Altergeist matchup, it makes it harder for them. So you got a good matchup with this deck. A lot of people sit there and they're like, it's still not a good deck because it's odd odds. But this really gave odd odds a way to play without having to run that big chicken, Apex Avion. This is an Apex Avion. It's very good. 28 body too, so he's very, very useful. Also too, he's just all around good. Whenever he's destroyed and he's sent to the extra deck, he's gonna allow you to search out any of your normal spell cards. That can be pot. That could be your spell power. That could be your, your famous Spiral Flame. So he helps the deck out a lot. So if your opponent destroys this, sometimes it's good to let him go ahead and destroy that 28 bodies. That way you say, I'm gonna make you pay for it, sir. We're also running 2 Mythical Beast Jackal King, and we're only running the Jackal King for this. And the reason why is a lot of people are starting to get hip to Ashen, your Mythical Beast in the pendulum zones, and that's something that's gonna really slow you down. It doesn't slow down Odd Eyes, but if you're running one of the other builds, whenever they ash that, you pretty much stuck and you say go turn. But this guy right here, you mostly want to use your Servant. Use your Servant, pop Servant, special summon this, and that's if you have this in your hand, you can pin summon it, or if it's in the extra deck, pin summon it. And that way you've got ways to get counters on this, and also to have Endymion have counters on it, and that's just going to allow you to start getting those crazy board setups that you got. Negate for monster effects, negate for spells, and then you're going to go into your Odd Eyes Vortex. It's going to help you get really crazy boards, that's going to really make your opponent really have to really dodge through them. And lastly, for the monsters, we got to run our Supreme King package. We're running our Supreme King Dark Worm into 1 Gate 0. I decided to keep Dark Worm in because it's very versatile. You can normal summon it. Also, too, you can also send it to the graveyard and let it get that bounce effect from out of the graveyard. The main reason why I'm not running the chronograph is because you got your Servant Endymion now, and it can special summon. If push come to shove, you can use that to go into your Electromite, push come to shove. But I'd rather go into this, use other plays, and just go for OTK pushes or big negate boards. But that is it for our monsters. For the spell cards, I'm running 1 Pot of Desires. Desires, we're gonna mill off the top 10, draw 2 cards. Yes, it's an Ash target, but if you get your board set up first before you go into this, you can negate that Ash, or they're gonna have to negate something else before you get to this point. So that way you can just go ahead and pop off with it. Also too, we're running 1 Foolish Burial, and we're also running the 1 Dragon Shrine. I feel still that 1 and 1 of this is very good, because there's been many times that I've played in matches and I've drawn both of these in hand at the same time. For this deck, it's not that bad. I would rather go ahead and send 2 Dark Worms. Either way, that way I can just go ahead and get the counters, but it's very, very good running 1 and 1 of this. And that's another thing. This deck, if you do pick up this deck, you need to get a whole bunch of dice, because it's going to be hard. This is a very, very skillful deck. It's not a deck that you just pick up and you just start playing. It's going to be one you're going to want to play test. Even though it is Odd Eyes, the Endymion's getting the right play line going is still fairly difficult, and you can make little minor mistakes that can really push you back where you could be advancing forward, but the deck is very solid. We're also running 2 Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance, I still like this at 2. The fact that you can search out your Arc and your Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon is very useful. Still allows you to get those counters. Very good. We're running 3 Spiral Flame Strike. Spiral Flame Strike is just a good rotor for the Odd Eyes. Also too, if push come to shove, you can always normal summon your Mirage. If your opponent has a tricky card up on the field, use this card to pop it, and that way you can start going with your plays from there. We're also running the rotor for the Endymion. Endymion, the Spellcaster Power Mastery. This is a very good card. This is a really stupid busted card, really. The fact that if you have your Servant on the field, you can activate this card, get a search, put a counter on, and then the secondary effect allowing it so that if you've already played one of these already, you can check your graveyard in this while it's on the field and add that many counters to whatever counters you want to put onto a monster or a spell card. And that is very stupid busted. This is a very good card. I'm surprised Konami made this. And this right here is what really gets the Endymions really busted open. We're also running 2 Rota and Terraforming. This is Rota for spill spells. This is very much needed at 2 of in this deck. Many other builds I've always run Terraforming at 1 because I don't like running and getting a whole bunch of field spells, but to be able to activate this and have any of your Endymions on the field or your Jackals on the field and giving them counters for free, it's just free counters, and you want those counters to be able to start getting the deck going for yourself. We're running 2 Sky Iris. We've dumped this down to 1 just for the way the Endymions run with the Odd Eyes. You much rather to pop and just start getting your plays going the way you want to, but we also wanted to stick in 1 Magical Citadel with Endymion. This card is really what makes the deck really stupid with the Endymions. The fact that every time you activate a spell card, it's going to put a counter on it. Also too, the fact is that they try to destroy it, you can remove a spell counter and it's going to keep it from being destroyed. So that's an effect that's really, it's protection for the card, and it's going to be really hard to get over because you can have this card on field first turn and you can end up getting easily 10-12 counters on it and just have a board full of 4 negates with this on board, and that's really crazy. But that is it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we're running 1 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon is the boss monster for the deck. You're gonna have this card out there. You want to get this card out there, and you're gonna usually use your Odd Eyes Absolute to get it out there. You're not doing the fusions. This build, I did not put in Dissolver. I did not put in Odd Eyes Synchron because I didn't want any cocks or kings or anything in the deck. I wanted the deck to flow as smooth as possible. I don't even have the Odd Eyes Phantasmal Dragon in it. So that tells you I just wanted the deck to run smoothly, put up the negate boards I wanted to. That is very, very crucial. But by the way, guys, I want to let you all know, for anybody that goes against Endymions or against any deck that has a lot of negates, the meta is starting to shape up so that they're going to start playing a lot of counter traps. Also too, Altergeist, things of that nature, they have they're like Odd Eyes Vortex, where it says negate the activation. If you guys got hit to Witch's Strike, I know a lot of people are saying that card sucks, but right now we're starting to go into a format. If you have Witch's Strike, you might want to pick it up if you don't have it already, because Endymions and Jackals, all of them, they're not like Ash. They actually negate and destroy. They get the requirement just like Odd Eyes Vortex. If Odd Eyes Vortex is on the field and they throw Witch's Strike on you, you're in a bad spot. Also too, we're running 1 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. This is just good for getting out extra special summons. It's going to be able to grab one out of your pendulum scale. I would usually like to go into this if I have a Jackal in the pen scale, special summon it, and that way if I have another level 7, I can still go into Absolute and go with my Absolute plays and go into Vortex as well. We're running 2 Odd Eyes Absolute in this build because 1 we're going to automatically use to get Vortex, Odd Eyes Vortex onto the field, and another is just a backup, just in case we wanted to go into Odd Eyes Raging, things like that. Speaking of, we're running 1 Odd Eyes Raging. Odd Eyes Raging is just, it's just the checkmate card. You put this card on the field, you're gonna get game. Unless they sit there and they straight up warning everything that you've done to that point. If you get this guy on board, you pretty much calling checkmates. Very good. We're running 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Red Eyes Flare Metal is just make sure you can burn your opponent. If you didn't get the damage in that you wanted to, stick this guy out there, let them eat themselves up. Very useful. We're also running the 1 number 11 Big Eye. Big Eye's Big Eye. There's been many opponents, they forget that you're running level 7s, and Big Eye just snatch steal their big monsters that they put out there and just, put them in a bad situation. We're also running the number 39 Utopia Beyond. This is just to make sure that, if your Jackals or you ain't gonna be able to have counters on them, just go and stick this out there, drop all your opponent's monsters down to 0 just to go for the big push. Also, the same thing with Naruto. Naruto, if your opponent, puts you in a bad situation, you still got those level 6 with the Jackals. Go into this, you might not have those counters, so that way you can go into this, and that way you can have a way to get those negates you need. We're also running the 1 Wee Wee Witch. This guy is she's just very good for just, if you don't want to go into your Electromite, go into this, and that way you can bait out your ashes, your ogres, things like that. Give all your monsters big attack point boosts, and push for major damage. We're also running one Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. This card is pretty good. It's a pretty good card. The fact that you get the interruption, your opponent's just going to be caught off guard. Depending on how you build your sideboard or how you want to build your main deck, you can run your Goliaths, Sloths, things like that, your Morphage monsters. You can bring them out with this. Very, very useful. But mainly what I want to do is I want to keep spawning out Odd Eyes. That way I can keep going my ranked plays and my crazy plays I like to go into. We're also running the one Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. And many of you, I'm telling you, Electromite, if you can get your hands on one, you want to play this guy. This guy really amps up your deck. He really makes your deck really stupidly busted. But if you don't run Electromite, you're still okay, because Electromite's Electromite. You can use them, you don't use them, your deck's still going to OTK. We're still running the one Decode Talker. Decode Talker I still is very useful. The fact is that he's going to be able to help with negates. Also too, if you set up your plays right, when you got him linked up, he's going to be a very big beater for you, and sometimes your opponent forgets about that, and he gets in a bad position. We're also running one Zephyr Metatron. Zephyr Metatron is just very good for the 3-pointers pointing down. Also too, going into the next turn, if your opponent, if they forget about, his effect, if they destroy one of your extra deck monsters that's pointing to them, it's going to put them in a bad situation. Also too, don't forget the banish effect. That can help you clear boards and go for that good game push too. And lastly, for the extra deck, we're running one Borlo Dragon, because Borlo Dragon, he puts in work. He gets you out of a lot of sticky situations. Be able to drop your opponent's attack point monster down. Also too, not being able to be targeted, and a big 3K attacker. But that is it for the deck profile, guys. Let us know in the comment section what you think of the deck, any improvements you have for the deck. What do you think? Which is your favorite build of Endymion? Is it going to be Odd Eyes? Is it going to be Magicians, Zephyr? What's your favorite? Leave a comment in the comment section below. We thank you guys for all your support. We love you. We're out.